sun setting low on a hometown track. Dust rolling up like a freight train sack. Cooler in the bed of a beat-up Ford. Crowds getting loud cause they know what's in store. Engines rumbling like a southeast storm. Another wild night where new legends are born. Grab your hat, grab your girl, feel that grandstand shake. Everybody knows this ain't no small town state. Cause we're full throttle Thursday night at them big bright lights, rubbing doors, riding high, leading hard through every fight. From the backstretch to turn 4, fans holler for more and more. Ain't nothing beats that heartbeat racing. Yeah, this is iNRS racing.
All right, happy Thursday, folks, and welcome to the iNRS Racing Series. We've got a fun one tonight here at Richmond. Should be a night race as we begin the transition from day to night. Thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network tonight for this broadcast. Be a quiet booth tonight. You've just got me here until maybe I can convince a driver to come up here and join us if they're available. So right now you'll have to listen to my lovely voice for the entire race. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Rick Souza here with IWM. So let's cover tonight's event. We're just about 30 seconds away from qualifying, and then we'll go into about a 5-minute drivers meeting post-qualifying, and then we'll get this show on the road. All right, we're here at Richmond for the Cookout 200. Richmond's at just about a 3/4 mile D-shaped track in Richmond, Virginia. Track temps 84, pretty cool. Air temp 78. Dry, slight wind, really not going to matter much. Drivers have plenty of tires, and hopefully it won't be as crazy with the tire situation as last week was with Iowa. So 6 sets. There are no fast repairs in this league. If you wreck your car during the race, you'll have to wait out the repair or call it a night. So you just got to kind of hang in there. You break it, you own it. Stage break around lap 66. They do run 75% fuel, which means that our fuel window is somewhere between laps 75 or 85 laps per tank of fuel. Of course, that will matter much. They'll be fine through the stage. After that, it could be a contest. We'll figure it out. As for keys to tonight's event, very interesting. So we've got fuel mileage will definitely play a factor here. How that plays a factor, we'll just have to figure that out as this race goes on. Qualifying, you've got to qualify well. One thing we've learned for these short tracks is you've really got to get out there and you've got to qualify well. That's going to be critical to your success here and staying out front. It's hard to pass with these next-gen cars. We know this. And tires. We're throwing tires in there because it could be a wild card. Not exactly sure exactly how that's going to play out here. It was last week at Iowa, but that's a different racing surface. Now, partially repaved, partially not. So we'll see how that plays out here. Richmond's surface is pretty consistent here, so we'll see how that goes. And again, our contest tonight, 200 laps. So we'll see how it goes. Laps pass relatively quickly here at Richmond, so we'll see how that all plays out. Again, if you're not familiar with Richmond, and as I say this, qualifying is underway. If you're not familiar with Richmond, it's a D-shaped track up in Richmond, Virginia. It's kind of unusual. It's like too long to drive it like a bull ring and kind of too short to be an intermediate. So, it's kind of like a big short track. Banking's around 14 degrees in the corners, 8 on the front stretch, and really flat on the back stretch, just 2 degrees of banking. That's kind of the signature here at Richmond. So, truck cars can get a good run off of 2 down the back stretch, kind of like a drag strip, and then of course that sets up what happens in turn 3. All right, qualifying underway. We're looking at Joe Torres out there right now. Out there qualifying now from Garland, Texas. And let's see if we can bring up where we are with best times here. Well, that looks confusing. Let's see if we can get that across there. So right now, the 6 of Lucas Gorman sitting up on top with the best time so far. Keenan Shoddy is right there, and Jordan Wenzel. That's 1, 2, and 3. See who else is out there qualifying. Matt Wheeler is on track. Currently showing in 15th. See if he can get a better time in. He wraps up. Kai Collmore finishes up at, well, it's like Kai may have tagged the wall as part of his qualifying effort. Here's a 97 of Jeff Ramsell. Now, Jeff is, we've seen him really have some great runs these past few races from Worcester, Mass. That's in the western part of Massachusetts. See if this makes it where he lines up here. Gets his first lap in, and his first lap is not always your fastest lap, but usually your second lap is your best lap. That's put him somewhere around 20th with his first lap, but let's see what happens here on his second lap of qualifying. Moved him up all the way up to 14th, so good qualifying effort by the 97. A couple other drivers are on track. Erica Bombard is there as well. He may have a penalty to serve out from last week based on what we saw in the post-race. We definitely had a bit of controversy last week. We'll see how it all plays out this week. This is Jeff's first lap in. And he puts himself on the pole with that effort. But unfortunately, as I am understanding, I do not believe he will be able to stay on that pole and may get an EOL. We'll see how it goes. All right, that's the end of qualifying. All right, so right now the next 5 minutes are consumed by the drivers. They have got a 5-minute drivers meeting that they will attend to. They've got lots of things to talk about to get ready for tonight's event, especially after last week's event in Ohio. So we're thankful that you're able to tune in and you get to listen to me for the next 2 hours. We appreciate that. But to watch these drivers here in the iNRS Racing Series. We're getting very close to wrapping up this season here as we sit here in Richmond. Just a handful of races left. Just New Hampshire next week and Daytona before we hit the chase. So we'll see how the rest of this season plays out. But important to understand is where we are points-wise. Let's take a quick look at the current standings. So right now, Jordan Wenzel sits atop the leaderboard here in the iNRS Racing Series. 5 wins to under his belt. Lucas Corbin is right there, just 57 points back, sitting in second. Keenan Shoddy is there, just 1 win, but just consistent results. You look at the first 2 drivers, you see Jordan Wenzel, you look farther out, you see Eric Bombard and Lucas Corbin. Huge amounts of success in the stage points. Keenan Shoddy, although successful, 71 stage points, really his overall points are because he's just been consistent. Just 12 top 5s, 13 top 10s, just 1 stage win and 1 overall win, but just consistent results all the way through. He sits currently 3rd. Now looking farther down the list, all the way down to the cut line, that's got Vince Burns right there. He's got Kai Collmore just behind him, just a couple points out. Garrett Walden a little bit farther back, but really Vince Burns is he's in a precarious position. Kai Collmore is right there, trying to knock on his door and see what he can do. Again, all of those drivers are in a little bit of a tough spot with just a handful of races left here. I'll try to get you a little bit of information here. Just give me a second as to where the safe line is. Let's go back up here. Let's go to iNRS and let's look at point standings. So right now the safe is Dakota. The driver who's safe is 11th on up. So Dakota Reeder sits there at 11th. He's good. Right now the drivers technically who aren't officially in yet, based on the racing available, this race and the next 2 races, who could change positions are Joe Musso, Joe Torres, Austin Walton, Ramsdale, Burns, and Collmore are there, and really Garrett Walden could also be in that mix too. So the last 6-7 drivers are up for grabs here in the series. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, we talked about the current point standings. Let's take a quick peek again. We talked about the schedule real quick. Again, right here, August 13th, this is Richmond Raceway here. Then we move on to New Hampshire. And New Hampshire, you'll see, that really depends on the driver. Some drivers love New Hampshire, some don't. I'm not a huge fan. It's a really flat track. I've never done well there. It's a tough track to drive, especially with these cars. And then Daytona. That's pretty much a wild card. Anybody could be successful at Daytona. You just never know how it's all going to play out. So then obviously, starting in September, we move on to the chase. First race up there is Darlington. Always the lady in black is a tough track for any driver, but being the first lead-off track in the chase is going to be a challenge for these drivers. All right, just about 30 seconds left before we go into our grid. We'll cover that momentarily. But looking forward to tonight's event. This is a great track to race at, to be a part of. It's fun to drive. Laps go around pretty quickly, depending on how the cautions fly here, which is always a wild card here at Richmond. You just never know exactly how it's going to pay off. So we'll just see how that all plays out. Again, tire fall off is typically a factor here. Short run restarts, if there is a lot of cautions, that plays a factor. And then, pit strategy, how these drivers figure out. Track position here is always key, and clean air passing is hard. Those are the common denominators in this next gen car. So we'll see how that all plays out here as the drivers begin to get ready to get this race underway. Right. Looks like drivers are making their way into the cars. Let's go ahead and give you the grid for tonight's race. All right, right now it shows Eric Lombard is up in the front on the pole with Lucas Gortman in second. We'll see if that changes on the restart, on the start rather. Keenan Shoddy is in third with Jordan Wenzel. Row 3 brings us Ed Shearer and Alex Daffin. In row 4, you've got Garrett Walden and Jake Musso. Row 5, you got Grady Gherkin and Brian Jones. Row 6, Dakota Reeder and Corey Ennis. Row 7 is Eric Jeffers and Joe Musso. Row 8, Jeff Ramsdell and Eddie Musso Jr. Row 9 is Scott Thomas and Kai Collmore. Row 10 is Matt Wheeler and Tony Chaps. Row 11 is Vince Burns and Austin Walton. Row 12 is Joe Torres and Josh Douglas. And in last place in the starting grid is Tyler Lem in the 25. In the 99 in 25th position. All right, like I thought, you've seen that the Eric Lombard has fallen to the rear of the field. And he will start at the tail end of the pack, which whatever penalties they may have assessed, we'll see how that all plays out. All right, lights are off on the pace car as we get this race underway. Drivers are making their way right now down the backstretch and into turn 3. You can see how flat that backstretch is. We'll get some in-car shots as well as this race progresses. Right now, you've got up front Lucas Gortman, Keenan Shoddy there. All right, this front race is underway here in Richmond in the iNRS Racing Series, door to door. Already 3 wide as these drivers are battling for position. Big contact already up front with the 6 of Gortman and Jordan Wenzel. 3 wide, still back in the pack. Wenzel right there with Daffin. See the 43. Oh, caution flies already. Not sure just what happened back here with Douglas, Thomas, and let's see if we can bring that up here. Looking at the tail end of the field. I don't know if that's where the caution flew. There's no driver information here as to what happened. Oh, you see right there the 3 of Torres going around. Winds up backwards. He gets spun out. Big hit in the wall for the 21 of Josh Douglas. He's got some definite right front damage on that 21. All right, already 2 drivers in the pits trying to see if they can get some repairs made. Both Josh Douglas and Joe Torres in there getting some work done. Well, it's kind of what we expected to see here at Richmond. There's a lot of beating and banging here. A lot of moving drivers around with the chrome horn, as they used to say. Again, we thank you for all tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series. If you get a chance, click that subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. We bring you the best of iRacing on Wednesdays and Thursday nights here with the iNRS Series on Thursday nights and IWM on Wednesday. We follow along with the NASCAR schedule from both leagues, so you'll see the preview of Richmond with the Thursday night series, and you'll see a replay of that series, of that race event on Wednesday with the IWM series. So stay tuned and tune in. All right, just 5 laps in already. Our first caution has come out. Everybody's back on track, although Josh Douglas and Torres, I think, they're a lap down. I think our scoring tower has quite caught up to that, but they definitely lost a lap or two getting some repairs made in the pits. All right, lights are off on the pace car. That means we'll be getting back underway here momentarily. Next time by. As you saw from those first few laps, you watched last week at Iowa, pretty much around the same lap time, somewhere in the low 20s. It's a similar sized track. It's 0.82, I believe, in Iowa, 0.72 here in Richmond. Just a little bit obviously different makeup of these two tracks, but interesting that NASCAR put these two tracks together like that at the tail end of the season. All right, green flag flies are back underway here. Keenan Shoddy out in front. These short track tracks always benefit that driver on the restart who's out in front. Shoddy out front, Keenan, Edwin Shear just behind, and Gortman is right there door to door with the, looks like that is the 84 of Alex Daffin. Shear put down the fastest lap so far with a 22:11. I'm sure we'll see other laps like that as, caution flies again. Eddie Musso Jr. involved here. Looks like he's hunting for a sponsorship there with that white paint scheme. Looks like Eddie Musso Jr. and Joe Torres got involved. Watching the 3 of Joe Torres right there in that number 3. Oh, actually, it happened up a little bit farther in front of Joe. He just may have been, let's grab Eddie Musso. That's what happened here. Looks like some contact with the 58. They're 4 wide up here. Looks like the 26 went up a little bit high, ended up pinching the 58 against the wall. He comes down and unfortunately gets spun by the 9, gets involved, and the 3 unfortunately gets caught up in it as well. So looks like some collateral damage there for Joe in the 3. Well, we'll see just what's going on. A number of drivers in the pits trying to get some repairs. See, Eddie Musso is in there trying to get some repairs made, as well as Austin Walton. You saw he had a little bit of left front damage on that number 9. All right, second caution flies here, lap 10. Hopefully that is not a trend here. All right, field's finally getting back together here. My guess is next time by, that pace car's lights will go off and we'll get ready to get the 1 to go. Keenan Shoddy's out in front. He's got that. He'll have Edward Shear on his outside. Behind him, Alex Daffin and Lucas Gortman. And then in the 3rd row back, you've got Jake Musso and Jordan Wenzel both back there with Short Fuse Motorsports. 2 SFM drivers right there in row 3. All right, drivers on the backstretch. We'll go live next time by. We'll see how it all goes. Again, thanks for tuning in, folks, tonight to the iNRS Racing Series. All right, pace car drops off. as they about to enter the restart zone. All right, we are good to go. Green flag flies again. We're back underway here at Richmond. Keenan Shoddy takes that advantage to jump out to the front like you would expect him to do. But right there, the 84 and the 88 are battling for that second place. Back to the field, a little bit of contact. Beating and banging here as you would expect here at Richmond. Still too wide here on the for the second place position. Ed Shearer's almost got in. He does as they get in line for the first 5 or 6 cars. But a little bit of action in the back. Saw the 42 of Tony Japs was a little out of shape, but he was able to rein that in. A lot of action here as Bombard is trying to work his way back up. You remember he did get out there. He did qualify, even though he was going to get the EOL penalty, but he put it on the bowl. He demonstrated how fast he could actually be, as now he is nearly 3 wide the back of the pack, trying to work his way up to the front. Right there with the 99, Tyler Lem. Tyler's having a good night. He's already up 10 spots. Had a big little mishap in qualifying at the start, pretty much at the back. Now he is already up to 16th. The Bombard is in 15th position. He's working his way back up. Up at the front, Keenan Shoddy still out there by himself. There's a little bit of action a bit farther back here with Eric Jeffers and Jake Rousseau here. Good racing here back in the pack. Corey Ennis back here battling, and Brian Jones. The 25 and the 27 right there battling door to door. We're still 2 wide back in this field. 3 wide as the 58 tries to get around. Now the 85 just above him, that's Dakota Reeder. See the 97 of Jeff Ramsell drop down right in front of the 58 as he's trying to figure out how to get up through this field. Again, it's challenging to pass here, although we are seeing some of these drivers have some pretty good success. Laps complete. Jumping back up front to our leader, Keenan Shoddy. You can see he's on the back stretch, so the whole field is spread out today. Just about the entire length of the field. Yeah, they're covering they're covering about half the track right now as this field begins to stretch out. Looking back through the field, let's take a look at our competitors here. Let's get some information to get some driver info for you. So second place you got is Ed Shearer Jr. from East Durham, New York. Right behind Ed, you've got Lucas Gortman from Gretna, Virginia. Alex Daffin currently sitting in the 4th position, with Jordan Wenzel sitting right there in 5th. He's got Brady Kirkin from Grand Rapids, Michigan, right behind him in 6th. Behind them, you've got Garrett Walden, Hendersonville, North Carolina, right there at the base of the mountains. Corey Ennis from Syracuse, New York, is sitting in 8th. With our 9th place is Brian Jones. And in 10th, you've got Eric Jeffers from Adams, New York. Sitting in 11th is Eric LeBombard, all the way up from last, now up to 11th as he's needed to carve his way up from Champlain, New York. Big New York contingent here amongst these drivers. Dakota Reeder's right there in 12th. Tyler Lem from Virginia Beach, Virginia is right there in 13th. And in 14th, Jake Rousseau from Cato, New York. Currently 15th from South Bend, Indiana is Kai Collimore. And Jeff Ramsdale is in 16th from Mr. Mass. Back in 17th from Lexington, not sure if that's Lexington, North Carolina or Lexington, Kentucky, is Tony Japs. Joe Musso from Cato, New York. Matt Wheeler sitting at 19th from West Palm Beach. And Scott Thomas from King, New York, sitting in 20th. Austin Walton, currently sitting 24th, is back there in number 9. And Joe Torres from Garland, Texas, is in 25th. That is our field for tonight. We're going to be giving you a chance to see your favorite driver. If one of those is your favorite driver, we're going to follow them to be successful tonight. All right, right now we're about just about nearing the halfway point to the stage. Our stage break again is at lap 66. Keenan Shoddy out in front. Let's bring up some gap information here so you can see he's got about a 3/4 of a second lead over Ed Shearer. And then the real gap happens after Ed. He's got nearly a 2-second gap between himself and Lucas Portman, who's back there. You got Alex Daffin, Jordan Wenzel, Gherkin, Walden. This field just is all spread out. Okay, that's what I gave you earlier information. Both Austin Walton and Joe Torres, they are both 1 lap down. Josh Douglas, the 21, who's involved in that earlier incident, he is currently in the pits. Going to get some repairs made, I'm sure. That is one of the challenges we see on this next-gen car. You know, really any suspension damage, because it's the way that this car is constructed, really affects the way this car runs and handles. Kind of keeping our eye on Eric Lombard here. He is now up to 9th as he's beginning to pick off this field as he's working his way back up to the front. Super hard to do through traffic, but he is making it work here. Let's come on board with the number 58. Yeah, you can see that he's really having to work that wheel. The way this car is geared, you can see that he is really, as he's getting through the gears, and as he's exited the front stretch, he is really using up as much as he can. As he now picks off another couple of spots. Lombard now battling 7th and 8th here, trying to battle for that 7th position, currently held by Grady Gherkin. Real question is, this is lap 36, just where we're going to be tires wise. Is this, this aggressive move up here by the 58, trying to gain position early on before the stage? Is that going to hurt him? Is that going to affect his long run here, trying to get through up to the stage? Or is it not going to matter? We don't know what our information is on tire wear with these yet. We'll know more when we start seeing drivers come in, but based on what we know, tire wear may not be quite the factor. We'll see. Currently, our bit of information, our telemetry, is that fuel obviously is not a factor. So right now they'll be able to get around 75, 85 laps on a tank of fuel. So. Right, Lombard has the position by a nose. He's trying to get out in front of Grady Gherkin. As he sets his sights on Ryan Jones and Jordan Wenzel up there for battling themselves. That is for 5th. Up ahead of them is Lucas Gortman. He's got a little bit of a gap ahead of Alex Daffin. track map again to keep up with where we're at. See the 45 of Keenan Shoddy. He's about to come up on the last car on the lead lap. That is Eddie Musso Jr. He is currently the last car on that lead lap, and a chance to wind up going a lap down for that 26 is in his rearview mirror. Look at Eddie Musso here and just get some graphics here about his last lap and the leader's last lap. You can see that he is about 4/10 or so slower than the leader. You can see Keenan Shoddy about to get right up on him. Again, Edge here is about 2 seconds back. Really, Keenan Shoddy has got a really good gap over this field as he works right there on the bumper of the 26 of Eddie Musso. And like we always see in this league and talk about it, some great sportsmanship amongst these drivers. And Eddie knew he was not going to keep himself out in front of the 46 and 45 rather. He just moved over the way, just what we expect to see here amongst these drivers. All right, Keenan Shoddy continues to dominate here. 45 laps in the books. It's just 20 laps or so before we get to our stage at lap 66. Looking back through the field, the 58 of Bombard has gotten pretty close to catching the bumper of the 81 of Jordan Wenzel. And Jordan's got himself, and he's got the 4 of Brian Jones ahead of him. So the field is stretched out over about 3/4 of this track. As these drivers are beginning to feel just exactly how this tire wear is going to work out for them. Is it going to allow them to save some and come back at the end of this run? Especially here, we should say if they were able to. If you're a driver and you're saving your tires, you certainly are thinking about, do I save a little bit at the front so I got more to come back at the end of the stage? That certainly is possible. The 58 of the Bombard is right there now, giving the 81 a run for his money as he's nearly in the trunk of the 81. So the 26 of Eddie Musso is right there behind the 58. As this field works their way past him. Up at the front, Keenan Shoddy has kind of got himself all alone. He's got a 3.5 second gap between himself and Lucas Gorman. And before he catches up to the 55 of Vince Burns, he's got at least a a full straightaway before he gets there. But just good racing so far. Just 13 laps to go to the stage. 54 laps in the book. Sunday drive here for Keenan. He's just out there just doing his thing. Back we're talking about that battle that's shaping up back here is the 58 right on the 81 looking for a spot. Gets down there almost into that left rear quarter panel, but wisely backs out a little bit here. But you can see he had the run. He backed out of it. Didn't want to make any contact with the 81. That would have been a bad play. That's just typical of what you typically see here at Richmond. It's really, this is a track where the short track banging meets big track speed. It's really a favorite of most of the drivers out there, just because it really rewards that throttle finesse over that flat backstretch. We expect to see if this continues the way it does and we get some green flag pit stops. Lap traffic is really going to become a factor pretty fast. All right, it may have been that all that work that LeBombard did to get up here from last to 7th really has taken a toll on himself and those tires. He may have worn out as much as he could on this charge. Of course, in about 8 laps, he's got a stage, and he'll be able to come back in, get fresh tires, and get back out and charge up all over again. But the story right now for this stage is Keenan Shoddy. We talked about his successes bring up those points again. See, we're talking about him. That he's worked hard, but hadn't had a lot of stage points. This is another opportunity to get a stage win. That'll add 10 more points to that stage point list and another stage win. It's coming just at the right time for Keenan as this regular section of the season is coming to a close. Again, based on our telemetry estimations, they got about a third of a tank left of fuel. Again, fuel, as we said earlier, not quite a factor. It's really, I think tires are going to be more a factor here. We'll see how that all plays out. And also what always happens here, as we talked about a moment ago, is that lap traffic will be a factor. Right now you can see that the 79 is there. That's Scott Thomas, and the 55 of Vince Burns. That's right in front of the leaders. Those guys are sitting back there in at the tail end of the lead pack back in 21st and 20th. As the 45 moves up under the 79, or tries to, with 4 laps to go. That 45 as fast as can be tonight, that's for darn sure. Looking back to the field, Lucas Corbin kind of all by himself. He's got the 84 of Alex Daffin behind him, but farther back, we got Brian Jones, about nearly 2 seconds back. Ed Shearer back there as well, was under a little bit of pressure from Jordan Wenzel for that position. Again, 2 laps to go before this stage is out there, and every point counts here. As the 81 is up under to the inside of the 88. As the 81 shows up right now, that's 5th position with 1 lap to go. Bombard battling with Garrett Walden here as the stage flag caution flies. All right, that'll freeze that position. Not sure where the Bombard will wind up. I think it'll wind up in 7th. But your stage winner is Keenan Shoddy. Lucas Corbin will pick up 2nd. Alex Daff in 3rd. Brian Jones 4th. Jordan Wenzel 5th. Ed Shearer in 6th. Eric Bombard in 7th. Garrett Walden in 8th. Corey Ennis in 9th. And Grady Gherkin, I believe, will get it 10th. Competitors are making their way down onto pit road. Most drivers, all drivers will take 4 tires. Back out on the track. So Keenan Shoddy comes out in 1st with Lucas Gortman in 2nd. Alex Daffin in 3rd. Brian Jones will come out in 4th. Eric Bombard comes out in 5th. All right, that's our stage break here at lap 66. Keenan Shoddy's kind of been the story so far with the success, as well as the charge up from the rear of Eric Bombard. He'll restart this race in 5th place. Ed Shearer just came down pit road. Not sure what's going on with the 88. Saw no penalties during that round of pit stops, but this trip down onto pit road by the 88 will set him back. Not exactly sure what that was for. Could have been for fuel. All right, lights are off on the pace car, which means next time by. Here we go, back to green flag racing. Keenan Shoddy out in front, brings his field into the restart zone, and we're back underway here at Richmond. Always a precarious spot here. We go back to restarts with side-by-side racing. Always a little bit, and especially with cold, fresh tires, you never know what to expect. And caution does come out. Not exactly sure what happened there. Josh Douglas is still in the pits. Well, I can't tell you exactly what happened here. Not really sure what brought out that caution. Try to go back and see what we can see here. Back towards the field to see if we can see what brought out the caution. Getting our blimp cam to give us a top-down view of what we see. Oh, there it is, right there. Hang on, let's see if we can figure out exactly. I think that's a 25. Let's do that again. Looks like Jake Russo got involved here. Let's try to see what happened to Jake. Got the 85 of Dakota Reader on the outside. He's right there down low. Just gets a little loose. Just goes around. Yeah, no one touched him. Just spun out. All right, caution flies here for the fourth time tonight for a simple spin by the 25 of Jake Musa, but he gets it back underway. Fortunately, we'll start back at the tail end of this field. So Scott Thomas in the 78 will get the wave around and the lucky dog. All right, lights are off on the base cars. We begin to get this race back underway here. Lap 76 of 200. Lucas Corbin to the inside here. And the green flag flies. We're going to let this go out since this settles and then bring back a quick replay because as you can tell, Lucas Gortman got by Keenan Shoddy here to take over the lead. That happened right at lap 71 just before the caution flew. Here was that replay. 45 goes down low, 6 up high. 6 has had a good run and is able to get right there door to door with the 45. It's got a slight advantage, and with a good run off the back, again, this is a front stretch here, out in front. 45 dives down low. And when that caution came out, he had a nose out and was awarded the position. All right, back underway here, lap 80. Gortman under pressure from LeBombard now, who has worked his way all the way back up here, battling for the lead now with a three-way battle with the 4 now. Brian Jones drops down low. They're 3 wide coming across here, door to door. Great competition. The 6 of Gortman out in front, the 4 hauls back, and now they're battling for second. That's LeBombard and Jones. LeBombard's got the advantage. He is now up into second place. Oh, the 4 drives down low. Tries to take that run off here and take that position. 58 stays high and loses and then drops it right back into third. And tries a little crossover move to see if he can now take that position away from the 4. .58 takes that same approach, dives down to that yellow line, tries to take that position and puts himself right there, but the 4 has that power move off that high line and tries to hold on to second. All that going on, and he's looking at the back, 45 of Keenan Shoddy. He's now back in the mix. as he gets up there. All this battling amongst these drivers, they're really taking a toll on their tires. Some great racing here in Richmond with the iNRS series here. Oh, big hit. The 4 of Brian Jones slams that safer barrier. Do that a couple more times, it's going to really impact the handling, but what that did do, and the caution flies, what that did do was definitely allow Erica Bombard to take that position, but right now you've got Tyler Lem got into it, and that wound up also grabbing Vince Burns. Let's see just what happened to Tyler and Vince here. Of course, the 99, that's Tyler Lem. He's got the 9 to his inside. Oh, there's a little bit of contact with the 9 as well. That puts the 99 square into the wall. Major front end damage for the 99. Not sure what happened to the 55. He just sped. Let's see if we was back up a little bit. What happened to Vince here? I'm guessing all this was going on in front of him. He caught the little bit of the apron there, and there's a little bit of curve there. That definitely upset the 55 there, and he goes around. All right, so while all that is going on, a number of drivers have found their way down onto pit road. See the 99 there. He is right now trying to figure out just how badly that car is damaged and how long it's going to take to get that repaired. In the meantime, you've got the rest of the field on there getting a set of pit stops done. A number of drivers just took fuel and maybe right sides only. So a number of drivers electing to possibly go with a 2-tire or just fuel only stop. Let's see if we can get some details regarding that. Let's see if we get some pit stop stats here. Yeah, you can see a number of drivers are experimenting with how they figured out. Like Ed Shearer just came down, he just got fuel. Matt Wheeler 4 tires, Jake 4 tires, and some drivers. Brian Jones just took 2, Jeff Ramsdell 2. Erica Bombard was there for a little bit longer than he anticipated. Our guess is he may have used that time to fix a few seconds of some damage on that car. So, all right, 5th caution of the night. We're getting close to the halfway point here at Richmond. 90 laps are in the books. Back up front, you've got Ed Shearer and Matt Wheeler. These drivers did not come in and pit. Neither did Jake Musso. Those 3 drivers pitted last on lap 73, 67, and 73 respectively. They're going to be under a lot of pressure with these drivers right behind them. Mortman, Jones, Shoddy, and Coriolis as the green flag flies here. Matt Wheeler gets that outside line, stalls up a little bit, and that causes a lot of chaos behind Matt Wheeler as these drivers charge up. He moves up there 4 wide in the back there. Oh, Bombard gets slammed by the 85 of Reeder, then turned by, I think that was by Jordan Wenzel. He's in the wall. Let's see who else. Well, Bombard, Reeder, Musso, Walton, Kai Cowlemore, I think also was involved as well. We haven't talked much about Kai tonight, but he got spun. I think I was calling that as Jordan Wenzel, but I think the spin I saw was actually Kai Cowlemore. let's go back and see just what happened here. So 4 wide, never a good thing. Matt Wheeler to the outside, Keenan Shoddy, the 85 of Reeder, and the 58 of a Bombard right there. I think that's where this whole mess starts. See the 80. Hang on, what caused the 85 of Dakota Reeder to come down that way? Let's back that up just a little bit. There have been a little bit of contact with the 45, and unfortunately that slams the 58 out of shape. The 85 goes spinning right through the field in front of everybody. 58 has to come back up. He gets tapped by his teammate, Kai Collmore, unfortunately, and that sends him squarely nose first into the wall. Major damage on the nose of that 58. Number of other drivers are caught up in the mess around them. You see the 26 going in with the 46. That's Grady Gherkin, nose right into the wall. Lots of damage on that car, but we'll see how this all plays out. All right. Well, the lights are still on. The pace car as this field gets reassembled. Number of drivers are in the pits trying to get repairs made. Tough night for Le Bombard. Thought he had a great opportunity here. He may still, but he is out. He's coming in at the tail end of this pack alongside his teammate Kai Collmore, Austin Walton. They're all back at the tail end. Well, the lights are off as we're about to go back to green flag racing here. Next time by, you've got at the front Ed Shearer and Jake Musso, followed by Brian Jones and Lucas Gortman in that second row. It's like the 45 of Shoddy, not too worse for wear. He was involved in that 4 wide incident, but I don't think he had any damage. All right, green flag flies again. We're back underway here in Richmond. Typical Richmond action here as we get 97 laps complete, just 104 laps to go. As Ed Shearer has his nose out. That's Ryan Jones, and he battled for the lead here. Lucas Gorman soundly in second here. About 8th or so back, begins to single file it here. Matt Wheeler is still there. Behind him a little bit, battle between Joe Torres and the 97 of Jeff Ramsdale. They're still battling back there. Further on back as we watch this battle as these drivers try to get their way back up front. The 58 is up under the 46. Try to take away that position as he's trying to drive up. Kai Collmore dives down in front of his teammate. Get the 43 of Garrett Walden up in front. In the meantime, Brian Jones has put up a smoking time of a 28.128 there, the fastest time of the night. Down on that inside line, you see the 58 and the 43 and the 39 battling on that inside as they try. Now 3 wide, the 58 gets under his teammate, trying to take that position away. I don't know exactly how much damage that 58 may have. Up in front, Brian Jones stretching out his lead a little bit over a 2nd and 2/10 over Lucas Gorman. Gorman right there. He's got Ed Shearer behind him with Corey Ennis, Jake Russo, and the 45 of Keenan Shoddy. That's your top 6. Jordan Dewar is back there with Matt Wheeler and Jeff Ramsdale. That is a battle for 9th place. Jeff Ramsell is successful, putting the 10 back in 10th position. Further on back, you see Garrett Walden here. He's under a little bit of pressure there from the 79 to the outside of Scott Thomas and the 58 of Eric Lombard as he's trying to work his way back again, back up through this field here at lap 104. Just past the halfway point here, folks. 97 laps to go. These drivers came in around lap 88 for fuel and tires. Plenty of fuel left in these cars. Pretty first bring a full tank here on this. It really comes down to just tire wear at this point. But again, most of them are on freshies at this point. Door to door, the 58 and the 43 here. That's the closest battle I think we got on track. Let's back out a bit to see what we see here. Zay battling Kai Collmore back there with the 79. They're also door to door there as Scott Thomas holds the position. Nope. 39 runs up under. Oh, the 39 in contact with the 43. Garrett Walden goes around, and that brings out the caution. A little bit of a tap from the 39 to that left rear of the 43, sends the 43 out of shape. It does bring out the caution. Not much damage there. Pretty mild there. See if we can see that again here. We're watching. See if we can focus on the. See right there is the contact. Let's see if we have a better view of that. Yep. There you go. Takes him out, and around he goes. I don't think that was intentional. I would say that that was probably, if nothing else, really just a little bit of differences in braking zones. That's one of the things you definitely deal with these with short tracks in general, where your approach and your ability to enter that corner, and whether you choose to either back off the throttle or tap the brakes, that's different. You know, it's just human nature. You're different than the guy behind you, and unfortunately, where it collides there is when it's often different. So a little bit of contact with the 39 sends the 43 around and brings out our 7th caution of the night. All right, up in front, a number of drivers chose not to come in. That includes Brian Jones, Corey Ennis, Joe Torres did not come in, Jeff Ramsell, Matt Wheeler, Joe Musso stayed out, Alex Daffin. Everybody else came in, so the top 6 did not come into the pits. And it looks like 7 and 8, which was Daffin and Shoddy, may have only taken 2 tires and fuel. See, Ed Shearer's back on pit road. Looks like Vince Burns decided to take a little bit of a trip through. Sure what happened to Vince. Little run on the grass there. See what happens to the 55. Just a little grass trimming there. All right, back underway here. Sorry for that delay, but the restart just happened without us. Brian Jones out in front, and the caution flies again. Not sure what happened, can't tell. Let's see if we can quickly figure this out, and then we'll stay with the pack. Got the tail end of the field here. So now Scott Thomas makes contact with the 25. 25 nose in the wall, big damage for him. 25 comes back up, field error makes around it, but contact with the 79 and the 25, not the 25's first incident here. All right, that's our 8th caution here, lap 114. So a number of drivers have chosen to enter the pits. Musso, Gherkin, Reeder, Jeffers, Kai Collmore back on pit road, and Eddie Musso Jr. Josh Douglas has officially retired. Called it a night after that earlier incident. No meatballs or repair flags shown by any of these drivers at this point, so everybody can continue. Currently your leader is Brian Jones. He'll be on I'm assuming the inside. You'll have Corey Ennis. We'll see which position that the 4 selects here next time by. All right, here we go, back underway. Green flag about to come out. Four of Brian Jones elects to take the inside, Corey Ennis to the outside, Matt Wheeler and Jeff Ramsell to the second row. Alex Daffin, Lucas Cortman will be row 3. Everything favors the leader here on these restarts. Restart zone and boom, underway. Brian Jones takes advantage of it and jumps out to the lead. Better restart for the 10 as he now is in 3rd place. 97 of Ramsdale drifts up a little high. And as the Ford jumps out. A lot of pressure for these guys up front because you've got Cortman, Daffin, and Wenzel right there looking to pounce. As now we're 3 wide just for 3rd and 4th back. 84, oh, 10 hit, the 97 hits the wall. Put a brush there. When that car contacts that safer barrier, it's like 58 is up to 7th and 8th. He's battling the 81 of Wenzel. The 10 dives down in front of the 58. Kind of stalls off that run he had a bit there. 10 slides back up. The 58 may have position on him. Looking back through the field a little bit here. Just goes 3 wide right there. With the 12 of Jeffers, the 55 and the 3. Kai Collmore also in that mix. Back up at the front, behind these 4 leaders, Jones, Ennis, Daffin, and Cortman. Lombard is now finding himself in 5th. He got around the 97 and is now right there. His next target is to take out the 6th, who's now battling right up there with the 27 of Corey Ennis. He takes the inside. He takes over the position and works his way into 3. He's now clear for that 3rd place. 27 has an opportunity, though, if he tries to make it to get around. But now that puts Corey Ennis there in the sights of the 58. Current leader Brian Jones out up front. We've had a number of leaders tonight, not a lot. We've had Keenan Shoddy led the most with 70 laps. Brian Jones out there ticking away 26 laps. Gortman led 19, and Sheeran led 9. So 4 different leaders. Quick race recap. We've had 8 cautions for 31 laps here, 25 laps in it, just 2 lead changes. That just attests the fact that it is hard to pass here. Oh, Joe Torres off the track is now running down the inside. Caution did not come out, but that number 3 went off track. But he was able to save it, and this race stays green. All right, back in front, Brian Jones, Alex Daff, and Eric Lombard now up to 4th as he's trying to get around the 6th. These are just bring up our championship information here. So Wenzel currently to lead the points. He's back in P7. Gortman is in 2nd. He's currently in P3. Lombard is in 3rd place with points. He's in 4th. In 4th place in points is Shoddy. He's back in 8th. And the big loser tonight right now, unless he can make something happen, is the 25 of Jake Musso. He's back there in 20th. Of course, he was involved in an earlier incident. All right, big battle points-wise here is the 58 of Lombard. They're battling with Gortman door to door here. Guys last were in the pits, both of them around lap 108. So these are relatively fresh tires, just 20 or so laps on them. Are able to take advantage of that. Again, just a little bit as you see the aggressive driving of the 58 as he's able to climb back up here up to 4th and challenging for 3rd. And that's gonna run its toll on his equipment as you get towards the latter part of this stage, well, this race. You know, he's just going to be able to run out of stick. Solid battle happening here between Eric Lombard and Lucas Gortman in that battle for 3rd place. On board with Gortman here. Inside on board with Lucas Gortman, you can see in his mirrors they're both full of that 58. Oh, caution comes out. And Kai Collmore has spun. Not sure what happened with the 38, but that's going to be an interesting turn of events here. We'll see if that brings everybody onto pit road. Let's just see quickly what happened to Kai. Watching that 39 black purple 40 XLI car down low. There's no contact up there as he's driving off turn 2. Oh, there may be a little bit of contact. Yep, unfortunately, Let's back that up, see just what happened with him in the 9. Get a different angle here. Well, I think the best angle is going to be this angle here. See, the 9 is up high, up in the groove, and there's just no place for that car to go. The 39 just really had there was nothing there. There was no place, and he just kind of, I think he unfortunately didn't realize he was not clear, and just kind of put himself in that position. All right, with the exception of Garrett Walden, who's currently out there in front of the 43, everybody else came down here at lap 133. So Garrett Walden will face Lucas Gortman to his outside. My guess is based on those times, if he took anything, it was probably right sides only for the 6 of Gortman. The same with Keenan Shoddy. They both short pitted and only took 2 tires and fuel. Everybody else took 4 tires. Now, with this being the 9th caution and with just 37 laps to go, 35, 136 laps complete. That puts us just around 63 laps to go. And potentially, I mean, they're good for fuel. It really just comes down to tires and, well, other cautions that may happen. All right, the 43 of Garrett Walden has elected to take the inside line. He'll have Lucas Gortman to his outside. Keenan Shoddy and Brian Jones are right there in row 2 as the drivers enter the restart zone, and we are underway here, back under green for the last few laps here in the Cookout 200 here at Richmond. We jump out there by the 43 of Garrett Walden. Battle is right here behind them, though, between Keenan Shoddy and Lucas Gortman. Shoddy takes the inside. Out of shape, few drivers there in the back. See the 58, though, of Eric Bombard. He's trying to get up there. These restarts are always precarious. Jordan Toward the 58 is right there with the 84. Oh, spinning it back, the Grady Gertkin goes around. That does bring out the caution. That's our 10th caution here at lap 139. If I had to guess, I think Grady got a little bit of help on this spin. Could be wrong. Yep, I was wrong. He got no help at all. He just went around. It's all on him on the 46. He just got a little bit out of shape and unfortunately had a little bit of contact, not terrible, but a tad with that inside safer barrier. A couple of drivers on pit road, Jake Musso, Eric Jeffers, and Kai Collimore. Both with them, they're all on pit road right now getting some work done. Looks like the 26 of Eddie Musso gets the lucky dog as he picks up a lap. Number of drivers on pit road. Jake Musso, he's out. He's out of the pits now. Eric Jeffers and Kai Collimore, they're making their way back. Try and stay out in front of the leaders here. All right, again, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series. We appreciate all of you that are tuning in live. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We certainly would appreciate that. All right, just 59 laps to go here at Richmond. Light should go off at the pace car this time by Garrett Walden. We'll get a chance to restart again out in front. Did a pretty good job the last restart, but he'll have Keenan Shoddy to his outside, Lucas Cortman behind him, and Brian Jones. These drivers have been up front all night long. Eric Lombard now finds himself in the third row with Alex Daffin as well. Jordan Wenzel, Corey Ennis in row 4, and Ed Sheeran and Jeff Ramsdell in row 5. We'll ride on board with Lucas Cortman for this restart. All right, pace car drops off. Oh. Garrett Walden disappeared. Green flag flies. Now, I think that black flag got cleared. Keenan Shoddy. Unfortunately, Garrett Walden disappeared. He disconnected. That's the nature of this event here. You know, when you're playing this simulation, you're at the mercy. Oh, car off that's Brian Jones. He is spinning caution, comes out again. Going back to what I said earlier, you had Austin Walton out there, or Garrett Walden rather. He was out there leading, and then all of a sudden, in front of Keenan Shoddy, he disappeared. You saw him, in front of Lucas Cortman rather. You were on board with Lucas Cortman when that car in front of him, leading the race, just winked out. That happens. Victim of the internet, or someone kicked the cord out, stroke, lightning strike or whatever. But whatever happened, that has completely changed this race for Keenan Shoddy and Lucas Cortman. Right now, Garrett Walden is disconnected. He's out. So Brian Jones. Let's see quickly what happened to Brian Jones. Just relatively quickly here. Not sure just what happened. Watching the 4 of Brian Jones. He's right there, kind of in the middle. He's got the 58 to his outside, the 84 to his inside. Looks like there's a little bit. No, there's none. There's no contact. We saw that just happen the last time. But so the Ford just goes around out of turn 4, and unfortunately, everybody gets by. He locks it up to hold that car in that position. He's safe and all good. Looks like Garrett Walden has rejoined. Could be wrong, but yep, nope. The 43 has rejoined. Unfortunately, he's going to wind up being 3 laps down. Not exactly sure what happened, but hey, yeah, that's racing. All right, Brian Jones is in the pits, taking care of whatever he needs to do. At this point, probably get some fresh tires. That's exactly it. Get some fresh tires to get back out here. 147 laps complete, coming up to the 3/4 mark here at Richmond in the Cookout 200. Keenan Shoddy will be, right now, he'll be the control car. He will have Lucas Cortman, my guess is, to the outside. Eric Lombard will line up in row 2 with Corey Ennis. Jordan Wenzel and Alex Daffin is row 3. Ramsdell and Shearer is row 4. And Uso and Wheeler is row 5. All right, base car is making its way around this track. drops off and puts this in the hands of Keenan Shoddy, entering that restart zone. And boom, we're back underway here. Great restart for Keenan, but the 58 is right there, battling again door to door with the 6. We saw that earlier. If you're the 58 and you're looking for some redemption, or you started this race on, made the pole, had to start in the back from last week's incident in Iowa, and now you're up there in 3rd place here, battling with, you're competing with the points with the 6. You both are leading top 5 point-wise, and now you're right there. Behind them, you see the action with Jordan Wenzel. He's right there. He's got a little bit of a taste of the wall right there, but he's got the 84 of Daffin with him, as he's right there sitting in 6th place. Battles continue all over this track. See the 97 of Jeff Ramsdell. He has got the 10 of Matt Wheeler to his outside, a bit farther back. Dakota Reeder is back there. He's got Tony Japs to the high side. This is working around Tony. Trying to. Back up front, the 6 of Corbin has kind of stretched himself a bit away from the 58, but right there, Jordan Wenzel has got his hands full with the 84 of Alex Daffin. These guys were trading paint here, back battling for 5th place. Still battling between these 2 drivers. The 84 has a slight advantage. Daffin is just there, but 81 makes it back, and they're still battling door to door here. A little bit farther behind them, actually with the 58 and the 55 of Vince Burns. They're tight here as the 3 drives down low. Joe Torres tries to get that spot away. Got the 85 of Dakota Reeder right behind him. 55 is caught on that outside there as these drivers get up underneath. The 3 takes that position, and Joe Torres moves into 11th. Back up front, the Bombard back on the bumper of Corbin, trying to get that position. He's got Corianis behind him. Alex Daffin has got his way around Jordan Wenzel, who now has Ed Shearer on his bumper, and Matthew Wheeler. Everybody up here, pretty much the entire field pitted last round, lap 133, so just about 25 lap old tires. You've got to go all the way back to those drivers who pitted last round, lap 145 or so, to get anything different. But right now, everybody's kind of an equal parity here. It's parity with equipment here. It's really just trying to figure out how you're going to do it. You have 42 laps to go. How do you get around? How do you pass that driver in front of you? This is a battle for second here. The 58 of the Bombard has caught the 6 of Portman, and we've seen this battle tonight. It's taking place all over again as the 58 is trying to get position, and he does, but does not hold it. It's close between himself and the 6. There, he almost had it. These drivers are so talented. Close call amongst these 2, but no, the 58 backs out. Says, you know what, that wasn't the time. I'll find. Oh, big shot into the wall. 58 eats that safer barrier. That's the last thing he needed to hit. Car is upset now. Not sure if that's damaged the suspension or what, but man, he slammed that safer barrier super hard. That plays into the hands of the 27. He's watching. That's Coriolis. All this is happening in front of him. He's looking for an opportunity, whether he can drive by or they make a mistake right in front of him. He's caught up to them. He's now there. Oh, spins, a 6 spins around, 6 in the wall. Lucas Gortman in the wall, major damage to that car. He's going to be all the way back at the tail end of the field, but there's some major damage to that left front of the 6. Holy cow, let's see what happened to Lucas here. 58 made it around him. 58 comes down to block that position. The 6 just gets out of shape. A little bit of contact with Coriolis, the 27, and he winds up directly into the safer barrier and damages all around for that number 6. Now that's got everybody now on pit road here. Is what would you expect with just 33 laps left in this contest? They're all going to come in for fresh tires and fuel. The question is, you can come in and take 4 or 2. If you're a gambling man right here, my guess is that Lombard guy, he has just taken 2. No, he's in there for a long time. What's going on? And not sure what's going on with 58, but he is staying in the pits. We don't see a penalty. There's no black flag, so we'll have to figure that out later. But all right, so Garrett Walden, the 43, will get a lap back. He was down 3 laps after that disconnect, so he'll pick up. He'll get a lap back here. Just 2 laps now down. That puts Brian Jones and Keenan Shoddy up in front. You know, the 2 guys who have been battling all night, Lucas Gortman and LeBombard, they're just at the tail end of the field. We'll have to keep an eye on them for 30 laps as they try to drive back up to the front. But regardless, that puts Brian Jones up in the pretty much in the catbird's place here. He's got about 30 laps or so to defend here and possibly pick up a win. Now it also means Keenan Shoddy, who'll start to the outside, Coriolis and Jordan Wenzel, 2 iNRS Racing veterans, are sitting right there in row 2. Those are both short fuse motorsports drivers in row 2. Pace car drops off. Brian Jones has the advantage to the restart zone, and boom, there he goes. Good though restart by Keenan Shoddy to anticipate that. So the Ford jump up and make sure that was in the best place. Oh, door to door, the 45 and the 27. And now it looks like Matt Wheeler goes around. Something happened to Matt that brought out a yellow. We're watching the number 10 Tide machine here. He just self-spins, unfortunately. Backs it into the safer barrier. Got some good damage on that car. Stays out of anybody else's involvement in his incident, but unfortunately, that puts the number 10 in the pits trying to get some repairs made. All right, so we're going to rack and stack and do this one more time with 29, 28, 27, maybe 25, 26 laps to go when we get this back to green flag. That benefits, if I had to say, always the leader because he does get that jump. Now, that being said, Musa, LeBombard, Gortman, all back on pit road. They're getting repairs made. Thank you, Mosh Racing, for pointing out that you're probably correct. That 58 did slam that wall pretty hard. He's trying to get some repairs made here and see if he can make a charge back with just 20 or so, 25 laps left to go in this contest. Another good value, that opportunity, that caution, that definitely helped Garrett Walden, although I think Matthew Wheeler is now in front of him a lap down. No, Matthew Wheeler has disconnected, and now Garrett Walden has officially disconnected. So those drivers are gone, unfortunately. That puts the last car on the lead lap is going to be Eric LeBombard, who now spins coming into pit road. No black flag. Sometimes they will get an unsafe pit entry there, but unfortunately he is now on pit road. Lights are still on the pace car. Expect them to turn off right here, which they do. Tyler Lem was the lucky dog. Both he and LeBombard get off pit road just in time out in front of the field to now race their way back around. They'll probably catch the field right around turn 3, turn 4. So Brian Jones back up front. He is elected to take the outside. He'll have Keenan Shoddy to the inside. Again, those two crafty veterans, Wenzel and Ennis, behind as the green flag is about to fly here at Richmond again. Here we go, 27 laps to go. Brian Jones out in front, and now 3 wide here. Corey Ennis making a Keenan Shoddy sandwich. Wenzel up high as they chase this lead. Corey Ennis out in front by a nose contact with the 45 as they battle. Oh, the 45 goes around. Ed Shearer caution flies. I think Brian Jones will, no, or Corey Ennis, I'm not sure who will be scored as the leader. That brings out our 14th caution of the night with just 24 laps to go. Let's go back in that replay and see what happened to Keenan Shoddy here. Obviously, you know what happened. He is in a sandwich between Ennis and the 4 of Brian Jones. Gets out of shape, spins around the field. Jordan Wenzel gets by, but unfortunately, 85 Dakota Reeder gets a little bit of bumper. He gets smashed in by the 9. The 6 is able to drive around, but he has definitely got some damage on that 45. All right, number of drivers on pit road: Joe Torres and Dakota Reeder. Musa LeBombard's back on. Eddie Musso Jr., Keenan Shoddy, all on pit road as the number of drivers now trying to figure out and get repairs made. Dakota Reeder does have a black flag, which he will have to serve. I guess it's either going to be in, oh, that may have been cleared. All right. think we'll catch the green flag with just 20 laps to go here at Richmond. Well, Richmond never fails to disappoint here. Lots of action here throughout the field. Lots of different lead changes. Let's bring up our lap leader information. It's gotten a little bit longer. Shoddy, Jones, Gortman, Walden, Shear, and Corey Ennis also credited for leading a lap. So Corey Ennis will now be the control car on this restart. Whichever position he chooses, he'll have Brian Jones there. That second row got a little bit different. It's now Alex Daffin and Jordan Wenzel. Corey elects to take the inside. Jones to the outside. He'll have his teammate Jordan Wenzel on his tail. Alex Daffin out there as the cars are on pit road getting service get off just in time. They'll get out in front of this field and they'll pick up the tail end of the lead lap. Dakota Reeder is in that lucky dog position. He's one lap down. Garrett Walden has rejoined. Not sure what's going on with him, but he is able to rejoin this field. Pace car drops off. It's all in the hands of Corey Ennis on this restart in the restart zone. Boom, we're back underway here. Already action, and the 81 of Jordan Wenzel goes around. Caution has not come out as of yet. A lot of action is happening. Caution's about to come. It's got to come out. Still no caution. There it is. 58 is involved. The 45 is involved. Musso's involved. Jeffers crashed. Shoddy. All kinds of stuff happening here. I think it started back with Wenzel. But try and scroll back to figure out. There was an incident in the back with the Lombard. This may have been just the result of everything else happening in front. There's contact with the 79. The 79 was forced. That was the 12 into the 79, and that unfortunately collected the 58. And then he obviously was right there with the 45, some contact there. But there was an earlier incident with Jordan Wenzel. Let me try to locate that incident there. Maybe there wasn't so much of an incident, but yeah, contact with the 4 and the 81 here. Then he gets out of shape. He figures it out. Okay. And then obviously there was all that incident happening behind it. All right, enough of that. It's like the Lombard got an EOL. Both he and Reeder are on pit road here. Lights are off on the pace car. as they head back out. So that puts, again, with just 15 laps to go, 14 at the green, Corey Ennis and Alex Daffin are on that front row. Corey Ennis is the control car. Here we go. And we're back underway here at Richmond. 14 laps to go here. See if we can get this race in here without going to a green-white checker. Got plenty of those if we need to. Now it's Daffin battling Brian Jones here for a second. A lot of action back in the field. Wide there with Wenzel. He figures that out back there. Back up front, Corey Ennis continues to lead with setting a blistering time. In fact, he just had the fastest lap of the race with a 21:27 from the front. Clean air living right there. A little bit of battle just behind him between the 4 and the Kai Collmore in the mix now. He's got Brian Jones in front of him. To the inside, Jeff Ramsdell. Oh, the 39 is loose, taps that safer barrier with a 55 of Vince Burns behind him. Just 11 laps to go here. The 97 of Jeff Ramsdell down low, hugging that yellow line as he tries to work his way around. The 39 gets out safely. He was almost caught there behind the 4, and the 97 blocked away, but it all worked out. He's now taken over. That is a battle for 5th place with Kai Collmore. Back up front, Corey Ennis has got this about a 3/10 lead over Alex Daffin as the laps begin to tick away here in Richmond. Now just 9 laps to go here. If you're Corey Ennis, all you're thinking about is just let this stay green, let this stay green. It's exactly what you need. You're out in front, clean air. You don't have to worry so much about lap traffic. But behind him is a hornet's nest. There's all kinds of stuff brewing amongst these drivers. Now the Kai Collmore is challenging Brian Jones for 4th place. Collmore up 13 positions from where he qualified is really bringing it to a head here as he's now battling Brian Jones. That is for 4th place. Well, the biggest gainer right now is the 99 of Tyler Lem. He is up 18 positions here and now is sitting in 7th. Collmore continues to battle with Brian Jones. Brian Jones not willing to give that position up. They're still battling here with just 6 laps to go. Workman in the pits for repairs still from that earlier incident. Brian Jones holding off Kai Collmore. Kai has got, he pitted last on lap 166. Brian Jones on lap 146. So his tires are way older, 20 laps older there in the number 4, Brian Jones. But he continues to hold off the 39. Up front again, just 4 laps to go. Corey Ennis out in front. Clean air living. He's got the 4 of Alex Daffin behind him, about 3/10 back, and about 7/10 over Ed Shearer sitting in 3rd. As they gap the field a little bit here, those 3 drivers. Again, Brian Jones, he's got his hands full. Collmore, a little bit sideways there. That's going to play into the 4's opportunity, and that gives Jeff Ramsdell an opportunity there as he runs up to the bumper of Kai Collmore, try and take that position away. 58 of Eric Lombard gets down and around the 55, and out of nowhere, he is now up to 8th with just 2 laps to go. Corey Ennis out in front, 2 laps to go. Working its way around through the restart zone there. And now the white flag flies here. This is all up to Corey Ennis. Needs to continue what he's doing. Be smooth, be smart, bring it together. Alex Daffin, Ed Shearer right there as he works his way onto the front stretch. And across the start finish line, Corey Ennis wins the Richmond Cookout 200 here for iNRS. Corey started back in 12th and was able to bring this home for Short Fuse Motorsports. Congratulations, Corey, and stay tuned. We'll have all of these winners, the podium with us in the interview room. All right, there's your picture at the start finish line. At 27 is getting lined up to do his burnouts. There you have it, the 27 brings it home with a win here at Richmond. All right, while Corey's finishing his burnout, let's get the results of today's event. Corey Ennis brings it home, leads 26 laps and brings home the win with Alex Daffin in second, Ed Shearer in third, Ryan Jones in fourth, Kai Collmore in fifth, Tyra Lem in sixth, Vince Burns in seventh, Grady Gherkin in eighth, Eric Lombard in ninth, Jordan Wenzel in 10th, Jake Musso finishes in, go back here to there, Jake Musso finishes in 11th, Austin Walton in 12th, Tony Japson in 13th, Jeffers in 14th, Musso in 15th, Torres in 16th, Ramsdale in 17th, Scott Thomas finishes in 18th, Keenan Shoddy 19th, Eddie Musso in 20th. Come on, advance. Well, I think I can pick it up here. That was 20th. 21st will be Garrett Walden. 22nd. 21st is Reeder, 22nd is Walden, Gortman, Wheeler, and Douglas. That's how we finish tonight's race. Hard Charger Award goes to Tyra Lem, picking up 19 spots. Most laps left, Keenan Shoddy. Fastest lap, Corey Ennis picked it up there, right there at towards the end on the lead lap. So, all right, let's find Ed Shearer here. Let's bring him into the booth. Here he is. Ed, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Yeah. I don't know how we got that, Rick. I'm going to be real with you. We kind of got lucky there with the short roads, but yeah, we were not good in the long run at all. I was burning up my right front so bad after like 50 laps. So after that first stage, I was lucky to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the telemetry, you certainly you were as low as P22. Where you started, you started well here in the top 5, but you're able to recover a couple different times and drive your way back.
Yeah, I was kind of playing like different strategies in my head to try to see if we can gain cautions at the right time and stay out at those 1 points. Like we were able to do it the one time, but I couldn't hold off the amount of people that pitted behind me, so it was rough. But I mean, for that to happen like there in the end like that, I mean, that was kind of what I was hoping for, where I can get away from the field and only be a short amount of laps. So it kind of helped out.
Well, certainly congratulations on your P3 finish. Certainly that will help you win the points. Any shout outs tonight?
I just want to thank you for doing the booth solo. I know it was probably quiet and like crickets up here, but I feel bad for you. But just shout out to you for doing this broadcast. You know, everybody who does the league, and congrats to Corey on the win. I mean, I know Corey because we're both Chase Elliott fans, so we understand what it's like to win when you can. So congrats to him, and just shout out to one of my sponsors. I got Precision Speed Solutions. They're an open setup team, so if you want to check them out, precisionsetups.gg on all website platforms. So if you need an open setup, go shout out to them. Probably the most reasonable prices around for open setup. So go check them out if you want. But yeah, it was a fun night. I'm looking forward to New Hampshire and hopefully get away from these short tracks. I'm really cursed at short tracks.
Well, P3 ain't so bad, so we'll take it as a win.
Well, we'll take it as we can, Rick. Appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
You got it. Thank you. All right, that's your third place finish edge here. And with that, let's go ahead and grab Alex Daffin here and move Alex into the broadcast booth. Alex, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you. Yeah, it's 2 weeks in a row, I guess. Sucks being a bridesmaid, but hey, with the way the season's gone so far, finally getting some good results. So definitely look at glass half full.
Yeah, you're peaking at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we've had the speed all year. Like I said last week, just one thing or another's gone wrong. But we're finally having things go my way. And man, I gave Corey everything I had at the end there. He had the 2 tires, which helps the car turn more. He had the clean air, and he was going the short runs. I mean, he did what he had to do, and congrats to him. But yeah, it's came a little short, but hey, we had fun out there tonight, so all good.
Well, congratulations on your finish. Looking through the telemetry, you stayed in the top 10 the entire race. That's just great consistency.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we started 6 and then got to the top 5 right away. And I guess, like I said, I ran top 10 all race. I'm usually pretty good at short tracks, and I'm usually pretty good here. So I had quite a bit of confidence, contrary to how I ran. And I was open last night. That's different circumstances. But yeah, I'm usually pretty good at this place. So I like it, and was able to execute well, and it all worked out.
Well, congratulations on that. We'll see you next week in New Hampshire.
Okay. Also, a couple sponsor shout-outs.
Yeah, shout-outs. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing. Team Watson Racing Setups, WLT2 Motorsports team. Also, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Team Chevy. Also, I'll give a shout to my girlfriend's mom. She's going through some health issues right now, so I hope you get well, Mary. And yeah.
All right, there we go. All right, thanks again. That's Alex Daffin finishing here at Richmond in second. And with that, let's move in our winner into the broadcast booth. Mr. Corey Ennis brings it home. Congratulations, Corey.
Thank you so much. How about that one?
That was pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was a little bit of a wreck fest, but I think the cautions kind of worked out for us, so I won't complain.
No, I mean, solidly you were, if you look all night, you were kind of hanging back there, a little bit of a dark horse. You just played it well. You stayed in the top 12 all night long. You put yourself in the right positions. And then 2 tires at the end there, dude. That was just good thinking.
Yeah, I was just telling Alec in the press room, we tried it early on. I've been working on my pit strategy because it lost me a couple potential wins last year. So I've been trying to test some things out. So I took 2 tires early on just to see how it felt, and it felt really good. I got through traffic pretty well. Couldn't really keep up with the faster guys on the long runs, but so we tried it again on that last stop, got a couple spots. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of wrecking going on at the front. I hope I didn't cause any of that. There was like a 3 wide situation there. I didn't even know we were 3 wide, but ended up working out. I apologize if that's on me, but happy about the win.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like a one-arm paper hanger here up in the booth, so we'll see how that all goes on replay. But no, you looked great. Congratulations on the win. Definitely that 2 tire strategy that I think you figured out somewhere. I'm guessing somewhere around 80. I think you did that around like 88 or something. I think you did a 2 tire stop.
Yeah.
But it all played out. Any shout outs tonight?
Absolutely. I want to shout out everybody that watches. I got a few people that tune in every Thursday to watch the race, and I really appreciate that. Got to shout out the boys over at Short Fuse Motorsports. It's actually honestly more than just SFM. There's a whole bunch of guys in there that I can't name them all, but they know who I'm talking about. The Lucky Dogs podcast, milonsmagic.com. Go get your candles. And you guys in the broadcast booth and the league for putting this great league on.
You got it. Before we let you go, any thoughts for next week in New Hampshire?
Ooh, New Hampshire doesn't usually bode well for me, but we'll see how it goes. I hope it's a little bit cleaner. We can have some more green flag runs. Maybe give some of those guys a run for their money, but we'll see. There's a lot of talent in here and a lot of short track guys for sure. So we'll see how it goes. I hope it's a clean one. Hope it's a fun one.
Sounds great. All right, there's your winner tonight here in Richmond at the Cookout 200. Corey Ennis brings it home for Short Fuse Motorsports. All right, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We thank you all for tuning in tonight to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series. Corey Ennis brings it home for the win. Alex Daffin in second, Ed Shearer in third. As we said earlier, next week here on Thursday, we'll be in New Hampshire for the second to last race of the season here in the iNRS Racing Series. If you love Richmond so much, tune back in on next Wednesday. We'll be there with the IWM Cup Series. They'll be taking on Richmond with those folks. Well, for all the folks here at the IWM broadcast channel, we thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you had a great night, and we'll see you later. Good night.